Dag allemaal. Ik hoop dat jullie het goed hebben op dit moment, gezien de omstandigheden. Ik neem aan dat jullie al met jullie mentoren hebben gesproken. En waarschijnlijk hebben jullie al een paar online lessen gedaan. Het is wel een hele uitzonderlijk en rare, bizarre tijden op dit moment. Weet niemand natuurlijk wat het gaat gebeuren, maar we moeten positief blijven en optimistisch en laten wij met z'n allen hopen dat snel dit voorbij is. Want heel eerlijk gezegd, ik spreek voor mezelf. Ik mis wel om op school te zijn en jullie te zien. En ik hoop dat het heel snel anders wordt. En dat wij terug kunnen naar school gaan. En tot de tijd dat het zover is, moeten wij gewoon doen met online lessen. En zoals een oude baas van mij altijd zei, we moeten roeien met die riemen die we hebben. Dus dan gaan we gewoon een videootje gebruiken. En ik ga voor jullie vandaag de rest van het boek lezen. En het is de bedoeling natuurlijk dat jullie met mij meelezen. Dan weten jullie hoe die woordjes uitgesproken worden. En daarna gaan wij even stoppen. Gaan we snel samenvatting maken. En dan lezen we door. Wij waren vorige keer in bladzijde 14 gebleven. Dus we gaan vandaag beginnen met de tweede chapter. The Witch Story. After lunch, Claire said, I'm going for a walk. Don't get lost, Aunt Min told her. There was a cold wind and it got colder when she arrived at the castle field. But it was a nice sunny afternoon, an afternoon to laugh at stories about ghosts, she thought. Claire saw the cottage and she saw Walter Birch outside again. His car was near the cottage. She did not want him to see her, so she moved across and up the field quickly. From time to time she looked back at the cottage. It got smaller and she got closer to the castle. Soon she was near the dark towers. There was no sun here and it was very cold. Everything was quiet. There was no sounds of birds or animals. The cottage was far below her. I'm okay now, she thought. He can see me. She went over to the tallest tower, the black tower, the boy called it. Did the woman die here? There was a door at the bottom. Inside, stone stairs went up to the top. Suddenly Claire was afraid. Why am I afraid? She thought. Ghost? Then she heard a sound. She thought it was a bird and looked up quickly. And a big stone fell from the top of the tower. Something in her head said, move. And Claire jumped. Nou, dat zien wij een foto. A big stone fell from the top of the tower. Claire was standing. So, that's bladzijde 16. Dan gaan wij naar 17. Claire moved away and threw herself down. The big stone hit the bottom. Even goed dit bewegen. Ik ben hier nu boven in de bladzijde. Even naar de muis kijken, dan weten jullie ook mij te volgen. The big stone hit the bottom stair and broke. And for a minute or two, Claire could not move. Another accident, said something in her head. She looked up the top of the tower. Something was up there. What was it? It had a head the color of fire. But was it a man or a woman? Or was that a bird? Claire waited for it to fly down. And then it was not there. Walter Birch heard the stone fall and looked up the castle. His face was white, and he was afraid. He saw somebody running down the field. "Stop!" Walter called. "Stop!" But the girl ran on, too fast for Walter's old legs to catch her. Claire ran back to Aunt Min's cottage. "Is that you, Claire?" said Aunt Min. "Yes," Claire answered. She waited at the back door for a minute before she went into the room at the front of the cottage. "Claire," said Aunt Minnie, looking at her, "what's wrong? Your shirt is all dirty." I fell over," said Claire. "Don't worry, I'm okay." She tried to smile. "Come and sit down," said her aunt. "Let's have a cup of tea." Claire sat down in a chair. Then she saw something in the corner of the room. "You got a Christmas tree," Aunt Min smiled. "The day after tomorrow's Christmas Day, remember?" she said. "I brought it from the garden and I put it up when you went for the walk. Do you like it?" "Yes," said Claire, laughing now. "There are some lights to go on it," said Aunt Min. "I think they are in the little room at the top of the stairs. Perhaps you can look for them in the morning." "Okay," said Claire. Much later, when Claire went to bed, she thought about the castle again. "I'm not going back," she thought. "Genny Castle can have his secrets. I don't want to know them." The next morning, Claire went up to the little room at the top of the stairs. There were a lot of boxes in the room, 2 old chairs, a desk with a broken leg, and a big cupboard. The Christmas tree lights were in the cupboard. Claire found them easily. She saw some books at the back of the cupboard. Most of them were stories, but then Claire found a very old book. It was small and thin, and she read the words on the front of it, "The Story of Genny Castle." "Ho, ho! Did you find the lights, Claire?" Aunt Min called from the bottom of the stairs. Zo, kijk jongens, eigenlijk is dit wat zij aan het zoeken was in dat boekenwinkel eerder, toen zij een cadeautje had gekocht voor tante Min. En nu heeft zij zelf dat boekje, waar niet te vonden, nergens te vonden was, heeft ze zelf bij Aunt Min huis gevonden. Nou, oké. Zo, we gaan nu naar bladzijde 9. Van 19 naar 20. Moet weer een beetje de camera, want die boek die beweegt ook een beetje van links naar rechts. Oké. So, there we go again. "Yes," Claire said. She put the book inside her shirt. "I don't want Aunt Min to know that I have it," she thought. "Why?" But she did not have an answer to her question. Later that morning, she went to her bedroom and began to look at the book. There were pictures of the castle and stories about people. These people lived at the castle many years ago. Some were famous, some were good, and some were bad. Suddenly, Claire saw a word, witch. She began to read. "A woman came to the castle about 200 years ago. She was a servant. Where did she come from? Nobody asked her. But soon after she came, things began to go wrong. Servants were ill. Animals began to die. Everybody at the castle was afraid. What's happening? They asked. It is the new servant, somebody said. She's a witch. A witch? Yes, said the others. She must die. Burn her. The man living at the castle had a daughter. She was 15 years old. One day, she too was ill. She's going to die, the man said. Who can help her? The witch can help her, his servants told him, and they brought the woman to him. Please help my daughter, the man said to the witch. No, she said, it's right for your daughter to die. You burned my sister 3 years ago. No, said the man, you lived at a different castle then, and my sister and I were 2 of your servants, said the woman. My sister, Alexa. Wat wij hebben hier net gelezen, in italic letter, is eigenlijk wat Claire was zelf aan het lezen in dat boek die zij gevonden had. Dus wat wij net gelezen hebben stond hier in het boek. En dan zien wij ook een foto, waarschijnlijk ook in het boek. She's going to die, the man said. Who can help her? Nou, dat is die meneer in het kasteel en de servants en de dochter die ziek was. En dan ga heel even nog een stukje door in dat ene boek die Claire gevonden had. Alexa, said the man, I remember her because she was a witch too. She was dangerous, so we burned her. And you are her sister? Yes, said the witch. I watched somebody I loved die. Now you are going to watch your daughter die. No, please, said the man, help her. Never, said the witch. And a week later, the girl died. After that, they took the witch to the top of the Black Tower and burned her. So, lekker tijden waren dat, hè? Today people say that they see and hear the ghost of the witch of the tower at midnight. They say that they see her fire-color hair and her green eyes. Dat is wat zij Claire ook dacht te zien hebben. De dag dat die steen naar beneden viel. Claire stopped reading and she did not want to know anymore. Ja, dus wel een beetje creepy eigenlijk, hè? Chapter 3. An accident in the snow. Voordat ik door ga lezen, ik ga jullie vertellen wat mijn plan is. Ik ga gewoon in 1 keer tot het einde het verhaal voor jullie lezen. Jullie mogen stoppen, een pauze nemen als jullie willen en dan weer de video opnieuw spelen waar jullie het gelaten hebben. Dit is een beetje de voordeel van een video. Die kan je spelen zo vaak als je wil of stoppen en dan weer opnieuw. Die samenvatting, omdat de rest van het boek is nog een aantal bladzijden en dan gaat het veel te lang worden, ga ik zelf schrijven en dan ga ik op magister zetten voor jullie, zodat jullie de samenvatting al zelf hebben. Oké? Dus, maar het is natuurlijk een goed idee als jij meeleest en probeert te begrijpen. Oké? Dat is ook de bedoeling. Chapter 3. An accident in the snow. Claire and her aunt drove to the church that evening. There was a strong wind and snow started to fall again. Claire watched it through the car window, but she did not think about the snow or about Christmas. She thought about the witch and about the fire-colored thing that she saw on the top of the Black Tower after the stone fell. These thoughts stayed with her all evening, and she only half listened to the singing in the church. She could not get the story of the witch out of her head. Nou, ze was hier onder de indruk natuurlijk van wat zij gelezen heeft. En het is eigenlijk best indrukwekkend natuurlijk als je weet dat echt mensen daar dood zijn gegaan op zo'n vreselijke manier. Dan gaan we naar bladzijde 24. En dan ga ik weer proberen de video echt zo te centreren. Dan gaan we weer. When the Christmas singing was finished, she and Aunt Mint went back to the car through the snow. Now it came up over the shoes, and the night was very cold. The car made lines in the snow when they drove away from the church, and everything was white. White houses, white trees, white cars, people white coats. Soon they were in the little road outside the village, and there were no other cars, only Aunt Min's. Driving was difficult. The car could not stop easily in the snow, and Aunt Min drove carefully, but with a worried face. They were in a road near the castle. Aunt Min tried to drive slowly, but the car went faster and faster in the snow. "I can stop it," she said. And then the car went off the road and hit a tree. Ooh. Aunt Min put her hands to her face and shut her eyes. "Are you okay?" Claire asked. "Yes, I think so," said her aunt. They got out of the car and looked at it. "I can drive it now," said Aunt Min. "I must from the garage in the village. Mr. Perkins can drive out and see it tomorrow. But now we must get home, Claire." Claire looked across the fields. She could see Jenny's castle. Aunt Min looked at the castle too, and Claire could read her aunt's thoughts. It was more than 2 miles round the road, but it was not a mile across the fields. "Let's go across Walter Bridge Fields," said Aunt Min. "I can't walk all around the road." She got a light from inside the car. Then they went into the field and began to walk through the snow. Zo donker, koud. Oei, 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 oei. Dan zien we hier een foto natuurlijk. Tegen die boom. Nou. Wat een kerstavond, hè? Claire tried not to look at the castle. Walter Birch sat in a big chair in front of the fire in his cottage. There was a book about castles in his hands. There were other books in the little room, and many of them were about castles too. His cat, Alexa, sat by the fire. Walter knew the stories that people in the village told about him. "He's crazy," they said, and he knew this. And he knew the stories about the castle. People said it was a bad, dangerous place. He didn't try to stop these stories because people stayed away when they heard them. And Walter didn't want people to go near the castle. He knew that the castle had his secrets. He stopped reading and closed his eyes. Alexa the cat stood up. She walked into the kitchen without making a sound, and across to a window. The window was not quite shut, and she pushed it with her foot. When it was open, Alexa jumped down into the snow, and she began to walk up to the castle. Walter opened his eyes. "It's time I went to bed, Alexa," he said. Then he saw that the cat was not there, and he got up out of the chair and walked through to the kitchen. "Alexa," he said. He saw the open window. "Again," he said. "Why did you go out on night like this?" Walter knew that the car went up to the castle. He remembered other nights when people in the village heard sounds and saw things on the Black Tower. Oh, nou, een beetje gekke foto hier. Dat is de kat natuurlijk, die naar buiten springt. When the window was open, Alexa, the cat, jumped down into the snow. Jongens, we zijn bijna klaar. Nights when Walter shut his cottage doors and stayed inside. Walter tried not to think about these nights. He loved his castle, but he knew that the village... Wacht even, want ik zie dat jullie nu niet alles kunnen zien. Ik ga nog een keer even dit bewegen. Okay, sorry. Walter tried not to think about these things. He loved his castle, but he knew that the village people were worried about it. The castle is a bad place, they said. Pull it down. Walter did not want that to happen. I must stop you, Alexa, he said. Then he took a light from a cupboard, pulled on his shoes and coat, and went out of the back door into the snow and the wind. Nou, hij ging voor de kat even zoeken. Even kijken, even naar beneden. I'm so cold, Claire thought. She and Aunt Mint walked across the field. They could see Walterbridge Cottage, half a mile away. Claire was worried about her aunt. How far could she walk in the snow, actually? The old woman's face was grey and she was very tired. Claire took the light from Aunt Mint, then put a hand under her aunt's arm, and she helped her across the field to Walterbridge Cottage. We must stop here for you to sit down, Aunt Mint. Claire sat above the sound of the wind. Her aunt was too tired to say anything. The front door of the cottage was shut, but Claire hid it with her hand. Mr. Birch, she called. There was no answer. She tried to open the door, but it stayed shut. Let's go round to the back, she told her aunt. They went round to the back door of the cottage, and Claire looked at the snow by the door. He's gone out, she thought. I can see his footprints on the snow. In the snow. They are going up to the castle. But what is he doing up there? Nou, dan zien wij weer een tekening van Aunt Mint en Claire in de sneeuw. Nou. Claire took the light from Aunt Mint, then put a hand under her aunt's arm. Om haar te helpen lopen natuurlijk. We zijn bijna klaar. There was no time to think about this. Her aunt was cold and tired. Claire pushed open the back door of the cottage and they went inside. They found the room with the fire and Aunt Mint sat on the chair in front of it. Claire went to the kitchen and made her a cup of tea. When she came back, Aunt Mint's eyes were closed. Claire looked at her watch. The time was 11 o'clock. After 2 or 3 minutes, Aunt Mint opened her eyes. Here's some tea for you, Claire said. Thank you, Claire, said Aunt Mint. Her voice was weak. I am a little better now. You can't walk any more tonight, said Claire. No, I don't think I can, said her aunt. I'm going to find Mr. Birch, she said. Perhaps he can take us home in his car. Aunt Mint looked worried. Where is he? She asked. I think he's up the castle, said Claire. Claire, you can't, Aunt Mint began to say. I know about the castle, Aunt Mint, said Claire. I'm not afraid. But she was afraid. Oké, even kijken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 en dan zijn we klaar. Nou, nog 5 bladzijden en dan zijn we klaar. Oké, nou, even een beetje volhouden, jongens. En ik maak voor jullie de samenvatting, hè? Dat is eigenlijk een mooi cadeau van mij. Dan hoeven jullie niet eens zoveel moeite voor te doen. Chapter 4. The Black Tower. Walterbridge looked up the Black Tower and thought he saw a light. But perhaps he didn't. He didn't see it, he said. I didn't see it, he said. He was afraid and he knew it. He never went up to the castle at night. Nou, dan zien wij hier een foto. Dat is eigenlijk een licht. Dat is de maan natuurlijk. Maar hier is wel een licht. Helemaal boven van de toren. Nou, dat is een beetje raar. En dan zegt hieronder. Walterbridge looked up the Black Tower and thought he saw a light. But perhaps he didn't. Dus ze zijn een beetje bang om te erkennen wat ze zien. So he never followed Alexa when she went out. He did not want to see or know the things that happen. He was in denial. But things did happen because Alexa was more than a cat. Walter knew the story of Alexa, the witch with the fire-color hair. He knew it well. He read it when he was a boy. Then, 10 years ago, the cat arrived at his cottage. Walter tried to send it away, but it came back again and again. And every time it came, it went up to the castle. After some time, Walter stopped trying to send the cat away. He gave it some food and called it Alexa because of its color. After that, the cat made its home in Walter's cottage. Oké. Dus misschien denkt Walter dat de kat die geest zelf is. Nou, zullen we zien. And then things began to happen. Birds in the castle began to die. Somebody found a dead dog in one of the towers. A stone from the black tower fell onto a woman's head and killed her. A small boy from the village got lost in the castle and his father did not find him for 3 hours. After that day, the boy never spoke again. Then people began to see lights and things moving up on the towers. But when they went to look, there was nothing there. Now the village people stayed away, and nobody ever went up to the castle at night, only Alexa, the cat. But tonight Walter was there too. Alexa, he called. Alexa. The wind took his words and carried them away. The orange cat sat on the tower. It saw the old man with the light on his hand, and then, far away, it saw another thing moving across the snow. It was the girl. The cat was afraid of the girl. It watched her with its green eyes. Why did the girl come to the castle? Why? What did she want? Zie je, de kat natuurlijk zo. Een beetje een bosse kat. Lijkt een beetje op die kat van Gargamel. The cat was afraid of the girl. It watched her with its green eyes. Claire followed Walter Birch's footprints in the snow. They're going up to the black tower. She thought, but why? And who went there before him? She could see smaller footprints next to Walter's. Are they the footprints of a cat? She got to the bottom of the black tower and stopped. Mr. Birch, she called. But the wind was too strong for him to hear her. I could wait for him to come down, she thought. But she remembered her aunt's tired face. No, Aunt Mint must get home, so I must go and find him. The stairs were wet and difficult to see, and the wind was cold and strong. There was nothing to help her up the stairs, and her shoes were heavy with snow. And then he saw the orange light at the top of the tower. Suddenly there was another sound above the sound of the wind. What was it? Wat was dat eigenlijk, hè? Then she knew it was the sound of a fire or of burning. Claire was very afraid. Go back down, she told herself now, but her feet didn't move. Where was Walter Birch? Was he up there? His footprints went into the tower, but they did not come out again. Perhaps he's ill, thought Claire. Perhaps he wants some help. Mr. Birch, she called. Mr. Birch. Walter was inside a big orange light. He could not see her. Ooh, spooky. She could not see through it. There was a fire, and he was in it, but he did not burn. Crazy, he thought. It was difficult. Oh, even nog een keer. Sorry. Even kijken hoor. Crazy, he thought. It was difficult to see in that light, but he could hear the sound. Ah! The sound was outside his head and inside it at the same time. Alexa, he called. Alexa, stop this. Now he could hear another sound, weaker, quieter. What was it? A girl? Mr. Birch! Mr. Birch! Who is it? He said. What's happening? It's Claire, the girl called. Claire? I don't know anybody called Claire, he said. It was suddenly difficult to stand up. He put a hand on the tower wall. Claire? Claire? He did know a Claire. Now, who? And then he remembered. Claire was the name of the girl, the daughter of the man 200 years ago at the castle. And she died because the witch did not help her. Her name was Claire. He remembered reading it in a book at the cottage. Dus, even een beetje stoppen. Meneer, die is natuurlijk een expert in de geschiedenis van het kasteel, omdat hij heel veel boeken daarover heeft. En hij weet dat 200 jaar geleden die meisje die doodging omdat die heks niet wilde haar helpen, die laat haar doodgaan. Die naam van die meisje was Claire. Nou, bizar. Claire, he said, you are Claire, but Claire is dead. Some other thing said the name now. Claire, something near him, a woman, he could hear it. He could hear the name in the sound of the fire. Claire, Claire, Claire. The thing sounded very, very afraid. Not dead. Claire, not dead? Suddenly the fire began to die, and the orange light began to go out. Now Walter could see the sky above him and the tower around him. Not dead, Claire, not. Soon there was no fire, no sound, only the light in Walter's hand. So Claire went up the last of the stairs and out on the top of the tower. She saw Walter Birch, but he did not hear her. He looked across the fields. The orange-colored cat sat on the wall of the tower. It saw Claire, and its eyes were afraid. It moved away from her. Walter saw Claire's light. He turned quickly. Claire saw the stones behind him. "Oh," she called. Walter jumped away from the wall. His light fell from his hand and went out. The stones behind him fell into the night. Then half of the tower began to follow them. Claire and Walter ran across to the stairs and down them. They looked back when they got to the bottom. When the sound of the falling stones stopped, most of the black tower was suddenly not there. They looked at it without speaking. Then Walter Birch said, "We are lucky that we are not dead." "Yes," said Claire, "but what happened to your cat?" They found it in the snow at the bottom of the tower. It was dead. Walter said nothing. He walked away sadly. Oh, dus die kat was wel dood. Aunmin opened her eyes when she heard them coming. Mr. Birch came in first, then Claire. En bijna de laatste pagina. Mr. Birch, Aunt Min began. The girl told me about the accident with the car, said Walter. Aunt Min looked at Claire. "Are you all right?" "Yes," said Claire. Her face was white. "Some of the tower fell down," said Walter. "The snow, it's very heavy." He stopped. Aunt Min looked at him, then looked back at Claire. "I think I understand," she said, and they knew that she did. I can't take you home in my car, said Walter. Thank you, Mr. Brudge, said Aunt Min. They went outside Walter's car. The snow stopped falling when they opened the door. They sat in the back, and Claire looked out of the window at the castle. It was different. She was not afraid of it now. The black tower wasn't tall now. Most of it was not there. Claire looked at her watch. It was after midnight. It's Christmas Day, she said. Happy Christmas, Aunt Min. Happy Christmas, Mr. Birch. Happy Christmas, they say together. Walter walked up to the castle the next morning. He went to the bottom of the black tower and looked at the stones. The fire-colored cat was not there. He looked for it carefully, but it was not there, and nobody ever saw the Ghost of Genny Castle again. The castle was different. Claire was not afraid of it now. En c'est tout. Wij zijn aan het einde gekomen, jongens. Ja, dus we zijn nu klaar. We zijn nu klaar met de video. En wat ga ik eigenlijk nu doen? Ik ga voor jullie netjes een korte samenvatting maken, zodat jullie dat kunnen meenemen naar de toets. Maar als jullie eigen samenvatting hebben of willen maken of willen eigen steekwoorden of mindmap maken, dat is altijd beter. Want als jij het zelf maakt, dan kan je het beter herinneren wat jij gelezen hebt, ja. Maar toch ga ik het proberen om het voor jullie in elkaar te zetten. En dan kunnen jullie het vinden samen met het boekje in Magister. Oké? Nou jongens, wij zijn voorlopig klaar met het boekje. Tot de volgende periode. En de komende lesmomenten die wij hebben, of die ik heb voor jullie gepland, staan ook in Magister. En het is wel de bedoeling dat jullie een beetje de grammatica weer opnieuw gaan leren. En ik ga jullie een paar oefeningen geven, zodat jullie blijven oefening doen. Zodat jullie straks klaar zijn voor de proefwerk. Nou jongens, veel succes en veel plezier thuis met huiswerk. En ik hoop dat jullie ook leuke films kijken. En nou ja, dat jullie er het beste van kunnen maken. Dag, tot de volgende.